Hello everyone, Steve Gage here, NASM certified personal trainer and co-owner of Engage Fitness DC. Today we're going to go over just some techniques and tips to help improve that overall shoulder health. And how is that going to be done? I'm going to explain it to you real quick. So a lot of the times, a lot of us work on all the stuff we see in the mirror, either in the gym or at home, that we see in the front. We forget about the stuff that's in the back. And a lot of that stuff, those muscle groups, specifically the middle and lower traps, that triangle in the back here, is forgotten about. And then when that's weak and all the muscles in the front are stronger, it tends to pull the body into that rounded, roll forward shoulder position. And that shoulder is not in its ideal position. It's in the front of that socket. We want it right in the middle, right where it's supposed to be, moving freely and no pain. So what we're going to do is work on a few exercises you can do at home or even at the gym that strengthen those muscles. And once those are stronger, you're going to notice, for one, your posture is going to improve. You're going to get out of that punch forward round position into that upright spinal erect movement. And again, once you find that even just doing that yourself without any weight, just getting into that upright more position, you'll notice the shoulder goes from that roll forward position to out where it belongs, and that shoulder is allowed to move a little more freely, as opposed to here where it's restricted. It's hitting that socket and not allowed to move as freely as we want. So again, we're going to work on exercises in that middle to lower trap range. Again, a lot of people focus too on the top, which then tightens the shoulders forward and again brings into that caved in position. So we're going to get into that open chest, upright torso, nice ideal posture position. I'm going to do different variations where we can do them in the chair, the wall, or the floor. So you got plenty of options. So one we're going to focus on first is the spinal, thoracic spine movement, because a lot of that comes from if you're not able to get into that upright position, your shoulder is not going to get into that ideal socket position. So I'm going to show you some techniques how to loosen that spine and get into that ideal position and get some movement in there. We're going to start with our chair version first. I know especially a lot of us are sitting a lot more than we used to. We're in the chair either at our office or at home watching TV. So again, in that position, sitting tall, hands are right behind the head, getting a chair that has a base just below your shoulder blades in the middle of your back. So if you need a little boost for your seat, if you're a little shorter, you can do so. So we're getting the hands behind the head, and we're just simply getting the shoulders back past that chair. And slowly, we're not forcing quick jerking movements. We want that slow movement there, just back and forth, breathing, and just working past that chair top. And also being aware that you're not arching your low back. So what you can do is squeeze your butt. That's going to prevent that low back from arching out. So from the side, again, squeezing my butt to prevent my low back from arching. And we're just slowly working that spine back and forth. What this is doing is it's helping loosen up that spinal movement and allowing us to get into that extended position. Not overextending where we feel pain in the low back. We just want to get more into the ideal position. Again, keeping those shoulders in that ideal position. Doing this for about 15 to 20 seconds. Again, being mindful, if you feel that low back pain, just squeeze those glutes and just keep that low back straight. All the movements coming from the middle back and up. And just slow movements. And take a few seconds rest. 2 to 3 times, just getting over that chair. Back and forth. Arms are behind because that's going to get those shoulders open. And you get a nice chest stretch in there as well. And then relax. So if you're at home and have one of these, or at a gym and you have access to one of these, I highly recommend grabbing a foam roller. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going to be lying down, and who doesn't like to relax just a little bit. So we're getting that foam roller in the middle of the back, just below those shoulder blades, getting into that same position, squeezing that butt, making sure that low back doesn't arch. Hands are again right behind the head, just like you're relaxing on TV, watching TV, or at the beach, and just rolling, getting that little shoulders back. You may feel some cracking and crunching, just things moving around. And then move up a few, an inch or two every few breaths. And just paying attention, making sure that low back isn't arching. We want to keep those hips down, so we squeeze the butt, keeping those hips neutral. All the movements coming from that rib cage. And just scoop down a little bit. You can add a little extra chew if you need. Get those arms over the shoulders. Good for eliminating those knots we sometimes get right underneath that shoulder blade. It feels like there's a golf ball just in there. This is going to help stretch that out and alleviate a lot of that tension. And relax 2 to 3 times, 15 to 20 seconds back and forth. Give it a few seconds to recover, and then go at it again. Just 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 times a week. So now we've got a little more spinal movement. We can get into that ideal posture. We're going to work on strengthening those middle and lower trap muscles. And what those do is they bring the shoulder blades down and back. Again, getting them right against that rib cage, getting the shoulder in that ideal position. Because if you notice, if the shoulders roll forward, that shoulder blade tends to stick out, so we want that shoulder blade flat right against the rib cage and the back. And that's what those middle and lower trap muscles do. They pull it down and secure it right to the rib cage. So what we're going to do, we're going to do wall versions of these exercises first, and then we'll do the floor ones right after. So getting right as close to your wall as you can, or your surface. Your nose you want touching that wall, you want right against it. Almost like you're a kid and you're in timeout and you're facing the wall. So you're looking straight, chin is tucked, getting that neutral spine in the back. And your arms are going to get into a Y position. So just outside the shoulders, thumbs are going to be pointing behind you. And you're just going to lift those hands off as far as you can go. You're going to feel that right from the middle back to the middle low back. Again, right from the middle to about that point right in where your spine is. And we're going to go 15 to 20 of these, and just making sure, again, squeezing the butt, making sure you're not getting that low back arch. We want all this tension to be in the middle low back. You want to pause at the top for 1 second and then come right back down. You may only start with a little movement, maybe an inch or two off the wall. That's totally fine. Once you start implementing these exercises into your routine, you're going to notice a lot more movement as you get more accustomed to these exercises. And you're lifting the whole arm up, feeling that in the middle of the back and the mid-lower back. 3 sets of 15 to 20. Again, just moving from that shoulder, getting those hands as far away from the wall as you can. And next we're gonna, similar movement, same position, right against that wall. Chin is tucked. We're gonna get our arms in a T position, Thumbs are again facing behind you. Arms are straight. That's key. We want to keep those arms in line with the shoulder. And then we're just trying to almost touch those thumbs behind your back. You're going to feel that in the back of the shoulder and the middle of the back. Same thing, 3 sets, 15 to 20. You're shooting for that 20, even if you have to take a minute, those shoulders get tired, you can get them right back up. And then drive those thumbs backwards. And you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. You're bringing them to the center of your spine as you move. And then relax. 3 sets of 15 to 20. Again, we need the high reps because that particular muscle group needs a lot of activation since it's so underdeveloped. And then next, same thing, right against that wall, squeezing those glutes, making sure there's no low back arch. Arms are gonna be behind your head. Again, just like you're relaxing on the beach or watching TV. And then we're driving those elbows back as far as you can go, feeling that in the middle of the back and the back of the shoulder. Don't focus on range of motion, and this is brand new, because if you're tight, you might only get a few inches off the ground or your floor. Just focus on where you're feeling. You want to feel in the middle of the back and the back of the shoulder. As those muscles get stronger, it's going to bring your position from here to here, and that shoulder is in that ideal position. And just drive those elbows back. And relax. 3 sets, 15 to 20. You're not going to need a lot of weight for these. Again, the body weight, the arms are just enough. So I'm going to take those same shapes. I'm going to show you some different modifications on the floor. Same thing. We'll start with the Y. So you're lying flat. You can either put a blanket or a pillow just to give yourself something to have your head against. But we're getting those arms into that Y position. Thumbs pointed up towards the ceiling, arms are straight. Keeping those arms straight the whole time is going to be the main focus. And you're just lifting those arms off the floor, making sure to keep the chest down. We don't want any rib cage lifting on this, we just want to focus all the movement is coming from that shoulder. And you want to make sure too, your head is down and not up like this, because that's putting stress on the neck, because that spine is not aligned. So again, if you need that pillow or that blanket to put your head on, that's totally fine. We're just raising those arms, thumbs up towards the ceiling, and relax. Same thing, 15 to 20 of those. If you're gonna take breaks in between, that's totally fine. And then we'll switch to that lying T shape. Same position as on the wall. Thumbs are pointing backwards, arms are in line with that shoulder. And you're just raising those arms up, keeping them straight. Again, up. Pausing at the top. Just 1 second, and then right back down. And relax. 3 sets of those, 15 to 20. 2 to 3 times each. And with these exercises, if these are brand new, I would suggest doing about 3 of these, because again, those muscles are going to get tired out really quick since they're so underused. So So do 3 of these every 2 to 3 days. And you're gonna start to notice you're sitting, standing up taller, your shoulders are back instead of into that rounded, caved-in position. And then our last exercise on the floor is, again, those hands behind the head. Again, your elbows can start touching, but we want to lift those elbows up off the floor, squeezing that butt. Again, that's going to prevent you from overarching or lifting up. And driving those elbows up, pausing for just 1 second. And relax. Same thing, 15 to 20 of those, 2 to 3 sets, seeing the pattern, 3 sets, 15, 20, that's it. And then last, we're gonna work on really focusing on that lower trap, that lower portion where it comes to that triangle at the bottom of the spine. So with this, I'm gonna give one hand, head is resting on one hand, other hand is right by the side. So we're going to lift the hand up, rotating that thumb out a little bit. Then we're going to take that shoulder blade and bring it in towards, so we're going to diagonally bring it down towards that opposite hip. So when I have my right hand, I'm going to try to bring my shoulder blade down to my left hip. So I'm on the floor here, lifting up, and I'm going to angle that shoulder blade down towards my left hip. And you're going to hold that position for 15 seconds. So you're lifting that hand up, squeezing that shoulder blade at an angle towards that opposite hip. And if you need a little more, you can reach this hand towards that leg. And keeping that arm straight. Paying attention to if your shoulder starts to drop, try to get that shoulder blade back up. You want to hang in this position for that 15 seconds. You may get a shaking sensation. It's totally fine. It just means that muscle is working and it's been not used for in a while, so we're strengthening that. And we're just switching sides. Again, rotating that thumb up and away from the body, and then getting that shoulder blade down towards the opposite hip. So now I'm getting that shoulder blade towards my right hip. And if I need a little extra, I can reach my hand towards that opposite foot. Woo. And we're holding that position. And relax. And what that does is it's going in the direction of those middle trap fibers at an angle away from the shoulder blade. So as we angle that shoulder blade towards that opposite hip, we're working those middle trap fibers and getting us into that ideal position. And then the last exercise, this is if you have a foam roller accessible, or you can get something that's foam roller like. So we're getting down again on the floor, arms are in that Y position, thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling, and we're tilting the hips down, squeezing the butt. Again, it's going to prevent that low back from arching. And we're just going to bring both shoulder blades at an angle. So you bring it down towards your spine and then releasing. So you're going to roll that foam roller forward and backward, just angling those shoulder blades down towards the middle of the spine. Then you're rolling them away, getting a good stretch, and then angle those shoulder blades down, pausing for just a second, and then right back forward. Getting the foam roller to the middle of your forearm. again, creating a nice bit of tension there and getting that activation with those shoulder blades down towards the middle of the spine. And again, making sure those arms stay bent. As soon as they start to bend, you lose a lot of that tension on the middle trap. So keep those arms straight, thumbs pointed up towards the ceiling. The way you can keep those arms straight is to get your fingers open, because you'll find it's very hard to try to bend those elbows if those hands are open. Just down towards the spine, and then back away. And relax. Same thing as the other exercises, 15 to 20 of those, 2 to 3 times, again, giving a few seconds of rest in between, and that's it. So guys, if this is fairly new to you, start doing 2 to 3 of these, 2 to 3 times a week, get your body used to using those muscles, because a lot of us are not using those muscles at all, if very rarely. And again, this is going to help get us out of that caved in position and get us back into that ideal posture and get that shoulder in a healthier position to where it's supposed to be, and get us to all that range of motion we're looking for with no pain and no stress. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Hope these tips and techniques were helpful to improve that overall shoulder health, because who doesn't like living with pain free? Not me. So we'll see you guys next time. Be safe, be kind, and choose to be well. Take care.